Please to clap. I'll leave the honors to you to invite your guest and then take it from there. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, MC. Please, can we clap for him, please? He's done a great job. So this afternoon, we're going to talk about agriculture and then health. We're going to look at some of the barriers and then some of the crossroads and what opportunities are there to be looked at in as much as people with special needs are concerned. So please help me welcome my panelists. The first person I have is Madam Grace Adua Nelson, a pharmacist and a public health advocate. Please, let's clap to welcome her on stage. Oh, please, this is not really loud enough. Please assist her. Thank you very much and welcome. I also have Madam Esther Chirewa Chumesi, the Communication and PRO Officer of Cosmos Innovation Center. Please, let's welcome her with a round of applause. And then last but not the least, Mr. Ishmael Genya, Lead IT and then Head of Digital Project for National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Please, let's welcome him with a round of applause. Thank you. So I welcome all of you. Just to save time, while you spend time to respond to some of the questions, you just take the opportunity to introduce yourself. So that is like a two-in-one approach. So, Madam Grace, we are looking at the intersection of health and equity in as much as persons with disabilities are concerned. So, from your experience as a practitioner, how do you make the case to policymakers that investing in health for PWS is actually good economic and not just a good charity, but it's something that we really have to look at?
Thank you. All right. So my name is Grace Nelson. I'm a pharmacist and also a member of the Lady Pharmacist Association of Ghana, called LAPAG for short. And we are more into taking healthcare to underserved populations, which includes people with disability. So I'm also a public health professional as well. And I think that's for my introduction.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yes. So making a case for people with disability in the workforce, I think it's high time we stop seeing it as charity or welfare, because looking at statistics for people with disability, if we are to exclude them all from our workforce, economically we are doing our nation a great disservice. So I find it very annoying when I go to Kolebu and able-bodied people can press the lift for it to go up and come down, do whatever. They, for lack of a better word, I feel it's out of, they just want to be seen as doing something. Hence, they put people with some form of disability there to do that work. And I feel that is an underutilization of their ability, because some of them, you really can't tell this. They are educated. So what are they there? Why are they just pressing lifts for it to go up and down? You know, so I think we need to present the economic case to our policymakers, to employers, that, I mean, bringing people with disability into the workforce is not you doing charity to anybody. You know, they need to see the various talents, the skills they bring on board. I have had the opportunity of working with multinationals for the past 10 years. And for these companies, hiring people with disability is a great thing. In fact, it is embedded in the organization's culture. You cannot exclude somebody because the person has a disability. So in my previous organization, the head of corporate affairs for sub-Saharan Africa, she was a woman who was affected by polio. She comes to work with her stick. And she's one of the brightest people. Imagine we exclude such a woman because we think she has a disability. That's going to be wasteful, such bright brains being excluded, So it's high time our policymakers view people with disability as people who are equally good for our workforce, hence make a arrangement, the necessary accommodation that needs to be put in place to accommodate them be put in place.
Thank you very much. So here we're talking about the talent of people with special needs here. That is what contributes to national development and not we doing them a favor. Thank you very much. Madam Esther, I know you work with Cosmos Innovation Center. And then when we talk about inclusive incubation architecture, we know you have a track record of nurturing agri-tech startups when it comes to agriculture in Ghana. How can your agri-tech challenge and incubation programs be structured so that it is physically accessible to specialized mentorship and to ensure that youth with disabilities are not just participants, but they are lead founders of the agricultural value chain programs?
Great, thank you very much. At Cosmos Innovation Center, what we are known for basically is training entrepreneurs. And if I say training entrepreneurs, it means young people and everyone involved, which people with special needs are also involved in this process. If you come to Cosmos Innovation Center, we are very intentional about dealing with people with special needs. So if you look at our programs, right from application process, we go beyond just doing the flyers where you have it stated somewhere that persons with special needs are encouraged to apply. We take a step to go to institutions. So if you look at our school farm program like this, it's one where we have the School of the Deaf always involved in it. We go to the schools, interact with them, make sure they understand our programs, and then join. Even if it requires that some of the components of our application process needs to be translated even in local languages, or even audios are done so that everybody can participate, or the public that we are serving will be able to participate, is one thing that we are keen on. We see inclusion as not just trying to get people to participate, but also giving them the opportunity to lead, giving them the opportunity for their voice to count. So we try as much as possible to reframe our programs, bring out programs that can give opportunities to persons with disability to look at, because in the agribusiness system, it's a whole chain. It is not just about the farm. We can give them opportunity to, even in terms of digital marketing, give them opportunity in terms of data analytics. These are all areas where, if you come to Cosmos Innovation Center, we try as much as possible not to leave anybody behind. We bring everybody together. So if at Cosmos Innovation Center, with our agri-tech challenges and incubation businesses, we try as much as possible that everyone needs to get involved. If you look at our workspaces, if you come there, every place over there are also accessible to people who use wheelchairs. We try as much as possible that even the kind of, in our communications, we use sign languages, things that will also appeal to people with special needs so that they get involved in our programs. So as much as we are serving a wider youth, we don't say because we are dealing with the agribusiness ecosystem, people with special needs are not part or they can't do this. No. And coming here, I've also gained a lot of insights in things that we can also do, even collaborating with this organization very here, to come up with a lot of things that can also support the work we do to be able to support persons with special needs.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Ishmael of National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Let's talk about the famous Act 715. That's, really mandates accessible health care. Many youth with disabilities still face physical and accommodation barriers in clinics. This is a challenge where we don't have enough accessible infrastructure. We would like to ask that what specific accountability framework is the NCPD implemented to ensure that healthcare facilities, both private and public, are audited and penalized if they fail to provide this accessible infrastructure and sign language interpretations? You know, Grace talked about going to Kolebu and all that, but we don't see a lot of that. I mean, statistics shows that only 1% of facilities are accessible for people with special needs. What is the NCPA really, CPD really doing about this?
Thank you very much. Yes, so I'm Shmuel from the National Council on Persons with Disability. And the National Council on Persons with Disability is the state agency mandated to coordinate all disability matters in Ghana. That is to say that for every single thing that is happening in this room, when it comes to government interventions and policy, the council is mandated to coordinate that. So for all the challenges, for all the issues, and even for all the good things that are happening in terms of disability in Ghana, the council has a good role to play in it. Some moderator asked about the Persons with Disability Act. Yes, after many years, there have been so many things that has happened around the Persons with Disability Act. Currently, the government, and by extension Ghana, is reviewing the Persons with Disability Act 2006, that's the Act 715, to conform to the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So we now have the Persons with Disabilities Bill. When it comes to issues of accessibility, especially in our health sector, we have the Ghana Accessibility Standard for the Built Environment. Every single physical infrastructure in Ghana is supposed to conform to the accessibility standard for the built environment. But we must also accept that there is still more work that needs to be done when it comes to issues of accessibility. And now for us, a council, when we talk about accessibility, we are only not looking at physical accessibility, but we are also very much interested in issues of information accessibility, digital access to information, and even the infrastructural access when it comes to accessibility. When it comes to the health sector, as part of our 2026 annual work plan of the council, we are developing an accessibility accountability framework, which is going to integrate accessibility audit into the health services national inspection of all health facilities we have in Ghana. We must also admit that Ghana Health Services and even the Ministry of Health are doing well when it comes to accessibility of some of the health facilities we have. We have had an engagement with the health inspection director, I think that's the HealthFra, and other agencies that work in terms of the health services, and they are doing well by creating accessibility walkways for persons with disability. But like I mentioned, accessibility has not got to do with only infrastructure. What of information access? There is still that gap of sign language interpretation when you go to our health facilities. What is more important for now, beyond the review of the Persons with Disabilities Act, to ensure that every single government facilities, not only health, any institution that provides services to persons with disabilities, persons without disabilities, the general public, whichever way the place must be accessible, both physical and even digital, the new current Persons with Disabilities Bill is going to cure all those. But beyond that, even before the bill is passed, we are integrating accessibility audit into all our frameworks we are going to develop to ensure that every public building becomes accessible to persons with disabilities. What we are also trying to do with the Ministry of Health, you see, this work, the council do not do it alone. We collaborate with all other agencies. When it comes to issues of sign language interpretation, thankfully now, Ghanaian Sign Language is now a career profession in the public service. and with a career growth. So you can be employed as a sign language interpreter in the government sector, and you have that career progress. If person visits the hospital, they are able to assist them in terms of that. It's a progressive thing.
Decentralized health innovation in the context of assistive technology. How does it really feel? How does it look like, say, a young person from the northern region can't have access to assistive technology like the one you talked about in Kolebu and all that? How does it really feel like?
All right, thank you. Before I answer my question, I just want to make some comments on what my brother from the council mentioned. I'm happy about what you are doing, and I believe you probably need to meet many more stakeholders, because just recently I have a friend who is an architect who designed a very beautiful building in the Kanda area for one of the offices. I wouldn't want to mention names. So she invited us to come check out. I mean, she's an architect, so come see the new building I've put up. And when I went there, I asked her, so if someone is on a wheelchair, where will the person pass? And she said, oh, the person will use the elevator. And I said, you and I know Ghana and lights out. Just last week, my relatives got stuck in the elevator at Kolebu. Are you telling me that the elevator is the only place accessible for a person in a wheelchair or a person who just cannot take the stairs? So maybe it's high time the council also meets some of these groups, the architects, the engineers, to have some conversations with them. Because I've also seen other buildings coming up, and I don't know, now I think I'm more aware of accessibility than I was years back. The first thing I look out for when I go to a place is trying to see if there's a place where a wheelchair, can pass. And I think if the nurses are being trained on sign language, in my entire years of training as a pharmacist, I don't ever recall us being taught that. So I'm just sitting here looking at this gentleman doing the sign language, and I'm thinking, hey, thank God I'm no longer in the retail pharmacy, because if someone comes and the person cannot speak, it looks like that day you and we will just be looking at each other. It will be a looking competition. You look me, I look you. So I think there's a need for the council to have more discussions with, especially our institutions training healthcare professionals. Now, talking about decentralizing assistive technology, if someone in the north cannot access it, that means it's a loss for the person. It's rather unfortunate that we live in a country where everybody has to come down here to Accra to get something.
Like someone just said, Accra is Ghana.
Just 2 weeks ago, someone was telling me, oh, they are building a police hospital in Kumasi. And I was like, so all this while, the police have to come to the police hospital in Accra to access care. I mean, this is not something we should be celebrating. This is something which should have been there long ago. If this person cannot have the necessary assistance to go to school, to work, as I said, economically we are losing out, because we are losing out on some of the finest brains, some of the finest skills we can ever get. 2, the impact on the person themselves, the mental stress, the fact that everybody can do something and you cannot do it, and it doesn't look like the people around you are enabling you to do it. You feel left out. We have well-able people committing suicide just because they can't do something. How much more people with special needs? And I keep saying they are built out of a certain kind of resilience, because in all of the suicide cases I've heard in KNUST, people killing themselves, I never hear about people with special needs killing themselves. So they are built with a different fiber, and kudos to you. Please give yourself a very huge clap for being here, for your resilience. I really admire it. I really admire you, and I'm pushing that every assistance you need, you will definitely get it. Thank you, and over.
Thank you very much. I think she's very passionate about what she does. Great. So, Madam Esther, still on assistive technologies in the context of agriculture and what KIC does. We have seen precision agriculture often relies on drones, IoT, sensors, data analytics, and all that. How is KIC encouraging its entrepreneurs to develop low barrier interfaces such as voice-activated apps and all that, that would allow people with special needs to manage large-scale farm remotely?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. At Cosmos Innovation Center, we see technology very big as one that is a very great thing when it comes to the whole agribusiness thing. We encourage our entrepreneurs at the back of their mind, anytime they are developing any innovation, they should have people with special needs in mind. Make sure that the innovation you are coming out with is human-centered, it's intuitive, it's simple, something that even you even need physical, the person doesn't press before they can even use it. So you have some organizations who try as much as possible to come up with mobile apps, things that you can even monitor your farm even when you are home. So through our mentorship and then business development process, we make sure that we instill in our entrepreneurs that you are solving problems for people. But don't forget that there are people also with special needs. So anytime you are coming out with a technology, an innovation, have it at the back of your mind that you are not just serving one class of people. You are serving people who also have special needs. So how will they be able to, and it cuts across any form of disability, how will they be able to access this particular machine that you are bringing out? Don't forget them. So this is one area that we are very big on, to make sure that we don't just breed entrepreneurs into the system, but entrepreneurs who can understand the various forms of disability that we have and be able to provide machines or solutions that could also assist them in their work.
Thank you very much. So audience, please be taking note of your questions. And let's keep it brief so that we can have time for the audience to also ask few questions. So thank you very much. It means, if I understand you, you incorporate design thinking in your program process. Great. So Ishmael, we are looking at the intersection between two ministries, Ministry of Gender and then the Ministry of Finance, in the context of the 3% common fund allocation. How does your department ensure that these funds goes to support people with PWDs in terms of support like assistive device maintenance and other forms of support that they need in as much as workforce is concerned?
Okay, thank you. It must be noted that issues of health equity directly impact productivity and employment. It directly impacts productivity and employment. Now, thankfully, so I'm thinking some months back, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, increased the common fund for persons with disabilities allocated for them at the MMDs from 3% to 5%. And that is a great leap in terms of the 3%. Now, the common fund for persons with disabilities at the MMDs is earmarked for catering for issues of economic empowerment, issues relating to education, issues relating to health, and issues relating to, supporting our persons with disabilities at the MMDAs with assistive devices. Now that the allocation has been increased from 3% to 5%, at the MMDA level, we have what we call the common fund, we have the District Assembly Common Fund Management Officers. So they are the ones that work with the assemblies to manage the disbursement of the fund to our persons with disabilities at the MMDA level. What the council strategically is doing is that we've realized that when it comes to assistive devices, the first panelist was speaking about the cost of assistive devices. If just a single prosthetic leg is costing about 2,850 just for the leg, not the preparation of it or whatsoever, just the fiber that they use in preparing it. And you look at the amount that goes to the assemblies to cater for different thematic areas, you realize that we may not be able to cater for all issues when it comes to assistive devices. And it's for the reason why even our persons with disabilities who require those assistive devices to work, they are unable, because we know how much hearing aids cost. We know how much this prosthetic legs cost. We know how much anything that will help them to be able to live independently. Because of the cost, they are unable. However, the council did a cursory analysis of the impact of the fund, and we realized that we need to now, engineer it in such a way that there is more allocation to assistive devices. So we have economic empowerment, we have education, we have health. In the health, what do? Let's put much of the funding to those who require assistive devices. So if the person needs a hearing aid or any mobility aid, if the fund would be able to give the person a 5,000 Ghana cedis to do that, give it. Now we look for other support to augment the existing fund they have so that we'll be able to help them with the assistive devices. So when you come to the council, beyond the common fund at the assemblies, if you request that you need an assistive devices, yes, we may direct you to your assembly that you are coming from. But when you look at how much it will cost you to get such an assistive device, there are other ways, strategic ways we try to help you to ensure that you are able to get that. We also encourage the manufacturers of the assistive devices. You know, when you look into the Persons with Disability Act, there are some form of tax rebate for our manufacturers of assistive devices. So we also encourage, I don't know if yes, you are here. We also encourage those who are into the manufacturing of assistive devices that you would have to write to the council that you manufacture assistive devices for persons with disabilities. We give you a recommendation letter. We follow through the process so that you can have some form of tax rebate on what you are producing. When that happens, you are also able to reduce the cost of those things. Now, same on issues of assistive devices. When you procure or when you import any form of device from even out of the country, there is also what we call tax exemptions on adaptive devices for persons with disabilities. So for instance, you have you are a person with physical disability. You want to get a vehicle that is adapted for your independent living. There is a tax exemption on that. You may also have to write to the council. We go through the process through Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Finance. Whereas the process may be long, we're able to expedite it to ensure that, of course, you know, when it comes to issues of tax and revenue, government is very careful on how you would want to beat the system. However, we have evidences of just this year, 30 persons applied to the council for tax rebate on vehicles, adaptive. I'm very careful on that because not just a vehicle. You do not just go and, procure a vehicle and you write to the council that because you're a person with disability, we should give you a tax exemption. The vehicle must be adaptive, or that particular device that you are looking for must be able to help your disability so that you can live independently. For that one, the council is ready to go every length to take you through the process to ensure that you clear your vehicle and you do not go through all the hassle of paying the taxes on it. So we are trying our best strategically to ensure that much allocation is given to issues of assistive devices, even at the MMDS level in terms of the common fund.
Thank you, Ishmael. You said something that I'm so interested. Did you say corporate bodies that support people with disabilities get some tax rebate?
Yes.
How is the council really propagating or promoting this out there?
So it's two things. First, it's about education and sensitization that there is even such an incentive. And two, how do we make the process seamless for people to go through? When it comes to the process being seamless, that one I can assure you, there is no hassle with you going through that. But the most important thing is education. How do even we sitting in this room know that when you're an organization and you even employ persons with disabilities, there is a form of tax rebate for you. So if you're an organization and you have person, okay, so empowerability.org, you are employing persons with disabilities. There is a tax rebate for that. So now we calculate a percentage of your annual tax returns that you are supposed to pay to government. Simply because we employ persons with disabilities, the government, waive off that taxes for you. So it's about sensitization, letting the general public know that when you employ a person with disability, there is a form of tax rebate for you. When you manufacture assistive devices, there is a form of tax rebate for you. Even if you're a company and you are importing goods that are solely for persons with disability, especially when it is going to make them independent, if it's going to help them in terms of entrepreneurship, and you can have an evidence to prove that this is for persons with disability, the government has the laid down procedures and even the binding law to ensure that you are exempted from certain taxes.
Thank you very much, Ishmael. Let's come to Grace again. Let's keep it brief for the sake of time.
Thank you, Ishmael, right? Yes. So, I mean, some of the things he listed out, in fact, they were going to be my recommendations. I didn't even know they exist.
Okay.
So it means you need to do more of sensitization and education. Yes, because, for instance, I've worked in places where every year we are supposed to do a give back initiative, and never for once have we ever thought of, oh, let's meet people with disability and maybe get them some of these assistance. It's always maybe malaria, women, beach cleanup, you know, things that you do and to put you in the news, you know, because I believe a lot of people don't know about
I'm
these
sure
things.
it's a very important information you just shared, that if many organizations know that there is something like that, they would channel their corporate social responsibility to that direction. So it's very good, and it's important to partner with organizations that can promote that. Grace, let's come to issues with regards to the mental health that you talked about. We see this double burden challenge being faced by people with special needs here, where they have physical traumas they go through and all that, and then the mental trauma, especially at the workplace. How do you think we can really help resolve mental challenges they face at the workplace, and why is this really critical to look at? I mean, Telecel talked about having 2 people they work with. I'm sure aside physical challenges, they may be facing some mental challenges with probably people who do not understand how to relate and work with these people. What do you think we can do to handle these issues that really disturb people with special needs, and why is this really critical to pay attention to?
All right, thank you. I think in recent times, mental health has really been on the lips of everybody, especially for our Gen Zs, everything. Oh, it's worrying my mental health. It's a burden on my mental health. Yeah, you know, imagine you, for lack of a better word, you are able to do everything for yourself, and you are a strain on your mental health. What about someone who needs an assistant, somebody to lead him or her to the washroom? Imagine the kind of torture that person will be going through. So first of all, we need education and sensitization in our workplaces, in our schools, in the various places we find ourselves. That it is not just about us who can do everything for ourselves. We also need to make room for those we need to assist, for those with our brethren with special needs. You know, I believe that once they feel like they are a part of everybody else, the mental torture will decrease. I'm not saying it will go away entirely, because they might be living with something else which they wish wasn't there. But once we've inculcated or accepted them as part of us, the load or their mental challenge or whatever they may be going through, thinking about mentally due. So we need, 1, education, 2, making our workspaces, our schools much more disability friendly for such people.
So let's narrow it down to the corporate level. Madam Millicent was talking about how they intentionally made it a policy of putting 4% quota for everything they want to do from strategic point of view or policy point of view. Who within organizations do you think should take up this matter? Should it be the HR department? Should it be management level to say we want to be intentional about a policy that would help people with special needs to feel okay in integrating their work with us?
Once management, senior management has accepted it, HR has no option than to follow. I work with a company that now gives men who have children 6 months paternity leave. Can you imagine? I have a colleague now who is on paternity leave, and when I think about it, I'm like, so what is he doing at home? I want to go to his house to go and check if he's really taking care of the baby. So there are some organizations that are willing to put things in place, and I'm happy you are saying such organizations get tax waivers. You know, I believe that once we are aware that if you bring in a person with disability, making sure that the person is able, you put all the infrastructure for the person to work, well, you're going to get a tax relief. I believe it's something many more companies will be willing to do, because every company wants to be listed as, there's this top place to work. There are some companies that it's actually part of their signature. Our company has been listed as the #1 place to work. If you are giving all these, if you're making all these infrastructure available for people with special needs, definitely your name is, aside the tax relief you are getting, the reputation it even brings to the organization being listed as an inclusive workplace. My organization prides itself, aside the paternity leave, the fact that it allows LGBT, people can openly say, I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and nobody chastises them. So it's high time workplaces actually become inclusive. Not just inclusive by saying it and not doing anything, but actually implementing what you have to do to be listed as an inclusive workplace.
Thank you very much. Madam Esther, let's talk about access to credit here. This is a major hurdle to young farmers, but the risk profile is somehow unfair to persons with disabilities. What collaborative financing models can KIC and its partners really recommend, especially inclusive grants for persons with disability who can or are doing something in the agriculture sector?
Thank you very much. When it comes to issues about finance, you know it's a major thing, even with those of us who think that we are normal. So if it comes to persons with disability, one thing that I think we can look at is, at Cosmos Innovation Center, we've been engaging a lot of financial institutions to make sure that they can give loans or lend money to businesses that are led by persons with disability, give them some loans that are, the percentage is okay, and then also give them time. You see, not really be on them. And this is where most of the times we say developmental organizations should come in to minimize the risk, especially for the financial institutions, so that there will be some kind of confidence when they are lending money to businesses or startups which are led by persons with disability. I also believe one thing we can look at as stakeholders is try to have an inclusion grant or money that specifically is being given to businesses that are led by persons with disability. If we can have that specific grant that, oh, this particular money should only be assessed by people with special needs who are starting a business or who are into entrepreneurship, and then we grow with them in the business. We don't rush them, or the timelines that we give to other people, even in terms of loans to pay back, it should be different. When it comes to them, the terms should always be different. We make sure that we grow with them and also encourage other institutions to follow suit, because I believe that financially they need to be empowered as well. And when we empower them and then give them the right spaces to be and add their voices to it, it makes things become a bit more easier and then break a lot of barriers for them to also excel in the space of.
Great. Thank you very much. Because you are in the data area, I'm really interested in asking you this question. That effective policy requires granular data. I'm sure you agree with that. Is the NCPD developing a centralized disability management information system that tracks the specific health to employment transitions of youth with disabilities? Are you doing something like that, Paul?
Okay, thank you very much. Issues of data when it comes to the disability space is very, very, very important. Especially for about a year now, there has been a rising need for a disaggregated data on persons with disability. I get so passionate when it comes to data because probably I'm more into the digital access and digital infrastructure when it comes to disability. It's pathetic when there's a simple question that is being asked. How many persons with autism do you have in Accra? Then, as a nation, we will not be able to generate such a data. Or we ask that there's a development partner from the US coming down to Ghana, wants to partner with Cosmos Innovation Center, Ghana Health Services, Kolebu, that they would want to, work with children with cerebral palsy in the northern region, and that they want data to prove that for age 1 to 15, these are the number of children with cerebral palsy in Gushegu alone, just a district. And we are unable to provide that. Because for every development partner that would want to, let me use a very informal word, pump its money into the economy, would want to thrive on data and would want to know exactly what he wants to achieve. There's also another interesting side of the story that when we meet in meetings like this, every single agency would want to prove that they have some form of data. The council would want to say that we have some form of data. Ghana Health Services will tell you we have some form of data, or for every development partner, you can easily click of 2 or 3 buttons. You can get information on persons with all categories of persons with disabilities. Now, I keep saying that it is just not enough to have the name of a person with disability in Crawley Court Assembly. It is just not enough to have their name, their age, and probably what else? Their education. Where do they access health care? What is the economic background of their parents? What assistive support do they need? What other social conditions are they living in? What is their economic level? There are a whole lot of disaggregated data we can have on a person, a single person with disability, to inform strategic policy formulation and implementation. And because we lack this, day in, day out, we churn out a lot of disability programs, social protection policies here and there. But at the end of the day, when you do the impact assessment of these programs, you are unable to really measure the impact of those programs or intervention. So many times you will see a health institution, any other institution, we are going to do this. So we are very good at donation. So as for the essential goods, we can easily go and donate them. But how are we formulating policies that speaks to data? That has been the bane of the country. So what are we doing as a council? Back to your question. When we did that benchmarking, we realized that is what we lack. So we are collaborating with all data institutions in Ghana to develop one national disaggregated disability platform, because the matter is becoming too topical. It is having, and you see, the resultant effect, we may not see it today, but as time goes on, we realize that we are losing the very fabric of interventions that go to persons with disability. So we are developing a national disaggregated data platform. For an organization like yours, you are free to come on board with data analytic expertise. Okay. All stakeholders over here soon will be knocking at your door, that you will make input into how our front end should look like, how our back end should look like, what kind of data, what kind of information are we supposed to collect. We wouldn't even want to call it data collection. We want to call it information gathering on our persons with disabilities, like real-time data, so that we can make accurate policy around issues of persons with disability. When we do that, we will be moving away from the usual rhetorics
Great.
to putting in practical work for persons with
Thank
disability.
you very
Thank you.
much, Ishmael. I'm sure the team is taking note of your response. Let's come to Grace. We've talked about assistive technology being expensive. We've heard a lot today. What would you recommend that we can do to have affordable assistive technologies for persons with special needs, especially at the workplace?
Okay, so as I said, a number of the things I listed out to talk about, I think Ishmael and I will need to continue our conversation after this panel, because it looks like some of the things in my head, they are the same things, he's doing and talking about. So number one, tax waiver for anybody manufacturing these assistive devices locally, importing them. They should at least enjoy some, taxes to make these products or these devices cheaper for our people with special needs. If I know that if I'm an employer or an organization and I know I'm going to get a tax waiver for keeping or for employing a person with special needs, I'm going to ensure that you're comfortable in the workplace. Do you need a walking stick? I'm going to provide it. I've been on private insurance for the longest of times. If my employer can add some of these things I need, for instance, hearing aid, as part of my package as a person with special need, I would be glad to work for such an organization. I'm going to get it for free. But a lot of these are private insurance. Let's not even talk about NHIS. They are another trouble for another day. Yes, if private health insurance is going to say hearing aid, some of them see it as a luxury. When I say so they see it as a luxury having a hearing aid. So they'll pay for every other thing, but not a hearing aid. They'll pay for every other thing, but not what you would sit on to get you to that hospital when you are not well. So if our employers instruct these private health insurance, or they even add it to their package, it will be less burden for such brothers and sisters with special needs. So it's a conversation we need to have, and I'm happy Empowerability has started this. Probably we need to bring these private health insurance on board for a conversation, for them to include such things, because it's really not a luxury. It's something the person needs to function on a day-to-day basis.
I agree, because I was asking myself, who is going to champion this? The employer needs to do that so that the private health insurance companies can incorporate that. Exactly. But I can't go speak to as a one employer and they will listen to me. So we need an institution, probably the council, yes, to engage the private health insurance people, to let them know, look, it's about time we look at inclusion. Because a lot of them are talking about inclusion is everywhere. It's the next word being abused. But as to whether practicality is being done, that's why I'm happy to hear Ashasi putting a figure to it, that yes, 4%, and you go and there is that show and tell, there's evidence of how they are living up to it. This is the first time I'm hearing an institution put a percentage to inclusion. So please, let's give a round of applause. And it will be a very big game changer if we can engage the private health insurances, because even the people without disabilities, you go to hospital and you are told, hey, your insurance doesn't cover there's so many surprises when you go to the hospital. So it will be very good. We know we are pushing a lot on you, but together with Empowerability, we should be able to speak to them. Thank you. Esther, let's talk about policy advocacy for inclusive agri-commons. Now, as we engage in the youth policy dialogue today, what specific regulatory incentives should the government provide to agri-tech hubs like KIC and all that out there to subsidize the integration of inclusive technologies into the national food security strategy?
I think we've mentioned a lot about the tax, so I won't even go there. Mm-hmm. But what I'll add to this whole thing is that government should be intentional. When it comes to issues about procurement, we should be intentional about making sure that products or inclusive solutions, things that are developed by persons with disability, should be bought by government. You know, there's this kind of stereotype, even in our normal community, when you are going to buy something from a person with special need, there's this whole thing about it. But if the government can be intentional about giving such huge contracts or opportunities to people with special needs, I think these are all ways that we can encourage them. Also, people who are developing solutions or inclusive solutions, if just like my mother here said, and then my brother, if they are bringing things that are going to support people with special needs and then the activities, they should also have some kind of, we lessen their burdens by these tax things, waiving them off or even subsidizing them. Have Innovation Center, we need a lot of support. Look at our school farm program. We have a whole school of the deaf joining. It takes a lot to even try to get them on board, make sure that they understand the whole process. We need support, financial support, how to make sure that all these schools are able to have access to the programs that we do, as much as each and every one have access to it. So I think it's so important that a kind of organization, or even in terms of government, whatever we can do to help hubs like Cosmos Innovation Center to be able to push the agenda, help persons with disability to also gain that kind of status in to count, is one very important thing that we need to do.
I mean, the biggest point that I like from what you said is where we have to be intentional and buying products from startups manufactured by persons with special needs. I remember about 2 years ago in the Agritech Challenge, there was this lady who was doing sobolo, not because she's a person with special needs, but the sobolo was solid. She's from Kumasi. They were a team of 3 and she was leading. I still communicate with her and she's doing well. She's doing so well, and I'm like, this is a situation where she needs support. All she needs is like market access to these products. So I think if there are policies like that, it will be very great. You are an organization, you are an entity, and you buy from people with special needs, you probably get some form of incentives. That's very good. Okay, so let's go to my brother Ishmael. Mainstreaming disability in emerging sectors. As Ghana shifts towards digital and green economy, how is the NCPD ensuring that national future of work strategies include health-related accommodations, such as ergonomic standards for digital workstations that allow youth with disabilities to compete on an equal footing?
Okay, thank you. Even before I touch on that, let me make a short statement on issues of the NHIS and all the assistive devices and all that. Let's be very frank. Sometimes when you are requesting for something but you do not have the evidence to prove that it is really a need, it gets a bit challenging for even your donors and development partners. It will interest us to know that even most of our service providers don't know how much it costs to acquire certain assistive devices. People do not even know how much hearing aids cost. People do not even know how much white cane costs. So what we want to do, which probably will be following on Empowerability Org, Ashesi, and all the research institutions, is we want to conduct an evidence-based cost-benefit analysis on assistive devices, and even to the extent of knowing the cost of certain rehabilitative services that are required of our persons with disabilities. Just some few months ago, we received a report of our persons with albinism who are requesting from the famous Mahama Care support for the provision of their sunscreen. Okay? It will interest us that most of us may not know how much these creams cost. And the information is not out there for our partners, our service providers, to know that these things are very expensive. Hearing aids are very expensive. prosthetic legs are very expensive. So imagine going to NHIS or we are in the news and we are advocating for all of that. Probably there's no even an evidence for them to know that these things are essential materials for our persons with disability, and therefore you must pay critical attention to it. So we've begun talks with the NHIS institution to advocate for an inclusion-specific NHIS tier, which will cover certain high-cost materials that are needed for persons with disability, some surgeries, or some costs in terms of like the persons with albinism, the sunscreen. Some of them need, issues of persons with albinism, but maybe for another day. Even the climate change effect alone on their skin will require that those things they need are factored even into the NHIS. However, there must be a proof for it before NHIS can also make a case why certain rehabilitative services need to be put on the HIS, why certain devices for persons with disabilities need to be put on the NHIS. So it's about policy dialogue. It's about, partnering, collaborating well with these our stakeholders, which the council we are doing to ensure that some specific materials that are needed by persons with disabilities are enrolled onto the NHIS. Back to your question, when it comes to issues of emerging technologies and climate and all that, especially in relation to work, we realize that when it comes to employment in Ghana, trust me, persons without disability are also struggling. How much more persons with disabilities? So for instance, as a council, through the support of a funding from the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, we are running a project. And what we are doing is that there is a challenge when it comes to accessibility. So now companies would like to employ persons with disability. However, because of the reasonable accommodation they need to give to these persons with disability, probably the company has gone to rent the building at the 3rd floor. It has gone to lease a building as its company. There are no elevators in it. It's a staircase. It gets a bit challenging to retrofit the building, especially when you're not the sole owner of the building. So we realized that the issue of employment, some organizations really want to, but it is because of the accessibility modifications they need to know. Are we going to fold our arms to watch our persons with disability not be employed? So on the project I'm talking about, what we are doing is that we have carefully studied remote jobs to see the kind of digital skills that are required for our persons with disabilities to be able to thrive at the comfort of their home with some little assistive device support. Making their environment within their homes accessible, they will be able to work. So when we did the analysis, we realized that there are thousands of jobs online. There are thousands of organizations, especially education institutions online, that are looking for people who can just transcribe. Live captioning and transcription. And at an hour, they pay them the normal $15 per hour, $21 per hour. So we have tailored our digital skills training program in such a way that we are only training persons with disabilities on in-demand online job. So we are not targeting formal employment where we will be calling an organization to come and employ you. Then you start giving us, forgive my language, stories. So we've tailored it in such a way that we are training our persons with disabilities, the selected persons with disabilities, on digital skills that are useful online. You can work remotely. So for 4 different programs that we are running, our focus is that at the end of the day, they're able to get jobs online. So that's how we are transitioning from the traditional way of getting employment into getting the people more comfortable in their homes whilst they are working, they are making their money. We are equipping them with the devices, the accessible devices they need, whilst we also monitor their growth to ensure that they're able to live independently in society.
Thank you very much. For the sake of time, thank you. Please, let's open to the audience. You have any question, any burning question you want to ask? Farid?
Okay, thank you very much. So not really a question, but just a few quick contributions. I realize that throughout the day, particularly our persons without disability struggle with the terminologies. So it's persons with disability and persons without disability. Everything else is either just for aesthetics, you know, the specially able, special needs. These are all American modifications. But according to the UN CRPD, which is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, is a person-first language. So persons with disability and persons without disability. Now, I would also quickly add that in terms of homegrown assistive tech solutions, there is an organization, the Inclusive Tech Group, that organizes what they call the annual disability hackathon around November or December, where they bring together young persons with disability and persons without disability to create some of these solutions. So if there are, I know Telecel was part of the last one that was held last year. So corporate Ghana should get involved in some of these, you know, programs. And finally, in terms of the agro sector, and even on this assistive tech issue, the MasterCard Foundation is also running a project it calls the We Can Work project, basically to get persons with disability employed. And one of the organizations that is enjoying funding tied to that project is the West Africa EdTech Fellowship, where they bring together fellows who develop inclusive solutions and get funded for it. So if we're able to encourage some of these initiatives, at least persons with disability would benefit in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's give him a round of applause. A lot of information in there. Thank you, Farid.
Thank you very, very much. For this afternoon, the panelists, they have really touched my heart. They've done very, very well, and we need to clap for them. Yes. Okay. I've put on so much on the paper, and some of them could have forgotten about it. Okay, my first question goes to Ministry of Council for Persons with Disability. You talked about accessibility and both physical and information. I was touched, and I wanted to know whether you have been to the National Assessment Center, where we assess children from crèche to the tertiary level, because all those in Legon, they come for assessment at the place. Whether you have come to see the building, if it is accessible. One time, a man in crutches, a physically challenged person, was coming. Because the place wasn't accessible, he fell with the crutches, and this is a man who is heavy. And I was only one day how to help the person to get up. So I will charge you to come and see the national assessment. And the building is also uncompleted. I don't even know whether it's because it's for persons with disability. We are doing this work out of passion for the children. And I know I'm coming from Special Education Division under GES. Do you get me? But I think we have to collaborate, because the building was started by Mr. Andrew Kaikwe, who was then the minister, yes, chairman for the Disability Council. So I will plead with you, come and look at the building. When it rains, it's leaking. It leaks, we have to put things there to collect the water.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Please, let's keep it brief. Everybody has a minute to ask the question.
Yeah, so the other one is about the assistive device, hearing aid. I'm an audiologist, and I do the hearing assessment for them. I know the cost of hearing aid. From 6,000, one behind the ear, not customized one, 6,000 to 20,000 cedis in Kolebu if I want to buy. So they come. We have a lot of lists. They come and then I can't provide. I can't buy for them. They can't buy. So I have a list, tall list from the schools for children who need hearing aids. So if you can help us get for them, I have the list in the office with the data. I'll be very happy if you can help us to digitize our data there. We have from 1975 data is not digitized, but I'm not IT person. And since you are IT person, I've talked to my GES, I'm tired. They should bring us an IT person so that we can gather the data. And we do a comprehensive assessment. So we have data for all the disability groups, but they are not helping us. Thank you. Then the last one goes to Cosmos, right? Please, today is my first time getting to know you. So if we can share your location so that we can link up, I'll be happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So please, for the sake of time, let's go straight to the point to ask questions. When we are done, you can engage the panelists for one-on-one conversations and all the network. Thank you.
My name is Henrietta, and then I had a question for the council member. When he spoke about the training colleges, the nursing training colleges, in their curriculum, they have sign language in the course, but it's just one semester. Who can use one semester to learn a language? So if he can push to his authorities and advocate to increase the semester to 1 year so that the nurses can be fluent in the language.
Great feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep it brief. Our time is up.
Just want to find out, when it comes to education, can you specify what you're doing for the education of the disabilities? I just want to know. Then I go on with the next question.
Did you get the question?
What is the government doing when it has to do with persons with disability in their education?
Okay,
Education
that's
policy.
fine. Great. That's noted. Yeah, please, let's pass. So we're taking all the questions.
I'm not done with it. I thought I could get the answer, then I go on with the next.
No, so we're taking all the questions and then they will respond.
Okay. So I just want to know this because, as I said, Telecel, we move from institutions every year to visit the hearing impaired institutions and then try to see what we can do in terms of the services we render. So one of the visits to Takrady University, we had communication with them where the students complained bitterly that, and then the teachers as well. The students are dumped there, parents don't come for them until it's as if nobody remembers them. So the teachers are really suffering in terms of supporting them in terms of their education. So some of them just end up begging and all that. So our presence there made them see that they need to talk to us so we can make noise about what they are going through. So that's why I wanted to know where does the education end when it has to do with persons with disability.
Thank you very much. He will respond to that. Please bring the microphone here. Keep it brief, please.
Much. So I'm Francis. I work with Ashasi University. So my question is to NCPD rep.
Hey, you killed this man. There's a lot of people on the panel.
So my understanding, the NCPD was established in 2009. If I'm wrong, I can be corrected. And if that is so, 2009 to now, it's a lot of years. And looking at the things you are mentioning, supporting persons with disability, it's like these are initiatives you have now started taking. So we want to know what has been your challenges from the time it was established and the mission of the NCPD till today, now that you are talking about these things. This is my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So in other words, what have you been doing all this while? He's taking notes for the sake of time.
Hi, my name is Eli Klim. From what I've heard so far, one thing that I think cuts across with the kind of problems we've been discussing with persons with disability. Someone mentioned that there are buildings that are not accessible and all that. And I think that we are facing most of these issues based on the fact that we are not thinking about persons with disability, so we don't put them into our planning of how we build our houses and all that. And I believe that this issue is actually coming across because it's a problem that is actually embedded in our culture. When you look at our Ghanaian traditional culture, we relegate persons with disability in the background. So you see that in a family where there is someone who has a disability, we don't want the rest of the world to know that we even have such a person in their home. So sometimes we hide the person indoors, and they only come out at night or something. So when that happens, and you realize that because of that mentality, it has eaten through the entire society all the way to the corporate world. And if we really want to see a change,
because
we need to
I'm sure you know, Ashesi, we will do it. If we are going to do it, we'll do it very well.
So my question now is,
I was extremely excited when they took me to the aerospace engineering department.
Attitude or mentality.
Why did they take me there? Because one of their key researchers there was a blind
So now we
student.
can take the...
They were working on a project
respond
in
to that.
partnership with
Which one
NASA.
do you want to respond to? Okay. Okay, so you want to take up that one. Okay, the mindset change.
Continue. Yes. So, I mean, yes, the NCPD will do their bit, but then we also, as individuals, all of us here, the onus lies on us to stand up for justice. When we see people with disability being maltreated, being spoken against, we need to speak up. Just last week, I'm very happy I saw the lady here. I saw a video of her on TikTok. I think somebody posted it. And she was saying a child saw her at the hospital, and the child's mother said, "Hey, we are bet you kakai, kakai." She was narrating, and I'm happy I'm seeing her here. And she was like, "Ade Mr. Kakai mama na, why would you see her and tell your child or your kakai?" So we all need to do something, each one of us. I've had a personal, my first son was born with a challenge, and he needed to undergo a corrective surgery. And I remember my mother say, "Hey, we are going to say this is not in our family. Where is it coming from?" And I think after that day, my mother would never speak against anybody because I made sure I schooled her very well, respectfully. Yes, because if we don't, then the child grows up thinking there's something wrong with me. Already from the home, the child's grandmother feels there's something wrong with you. Where would the child develop that confidence when he or she goes out? So it's high time each one of us stands up for people with disability. When I saw the lady's video, I was so happy that she came out to say it herself. And I saw it on for a celebrity's channel. I don't know if she posted it because she wanted people to laugh at her. I don't know the reason why she posted the video. But then I left my comment and I read that it doesn't sound funny. It's not funny. Do you want to add something?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So one has been taken for you already. You can say, thank you.
Thank you. Avalanche of questions.
So when he's done, then she can. Yeah, go ahead.
Avalanche of
When
questions.
he's
We'll
done.
do it short, 1 minute.
Great.
All right. I think the woman who asked questions on accessibility at the national assessment, I think she's out. Okay. So I think the National Assessment Center is under Ghana Education Services. The council collaborates with all these agencies to ensure that issues of inclusion are prioritized in national development. So her point is well noted. We will need to look at the accessibility issues when it comes to the National Assessment Center, together with Ministry of Education, to ensure that the issues are kept. Because if we are the agency for disability, then it must be of a matter of concern to us. When it comes to the issues
so one of the mandates given to me by Employability on this moderation is that we should hold panelists accountable for what they promise. Can we come next year and get to know or hear good news that the center is accessible?
We are going to collaborate with Ghana Education
Team, please
Service.
record it.
So like I said, the council collaborates with all MDAs. And as the National Assessment Center is under Ghana Education Service, it is our mandate to collaborate with Ghana Education Service to ensure that the National Accessibility Center is accessible for our persons with disability, because they are our primary stakeholders. Whereas the building is not for us, the occupants or the users of the building are our primary stakeholders. So the matter is of a concern to the council. So we are going to collaborate, emphasis on collaborate.
It's becoming political.
Education Service to ensure that the center is accessible.
Thank you. We hope you push, we know.
When it comes to issues of data and digitalizing them, it's very important. When you have a record of 1975 and it's still in a manual form of, in terms of storage, that defeats some form of purpose. So again, collaborating with Ghana Education Service. So we are going to pay attention to the National Assessment Center to ensure that it works. Emphasis on collaboration. Thank you.
Her third one is the hearing aid for kids.
On issues of the hearing aids for kids, that is not the only challenge. We've received a number of requests of people who want to be supported in terms of assistive devices. And like you said, hearing aids are quite, even people have even brought in a request that costs over 60,000 for hearing aids. Whereas we must admit that the council, as a government agency who also draws its subventions from the central bank, whereas we may not be able to support everybody with their requests, it is also our responsibility to partner with very relevant stakeholders to ensure that all the needs of these persons are met. So what I can say is that let's collaborate more, not only National Assessment Center, for every organization here that is working to promote the interests of persons with disabilities. Let's collaborate more with the government agency, the council, to ensure that all the needs of our persons with disability, even if not fully met, at least to a point where they can independently live in society. Yeah.
Great.
When it comes to issues of sign language, like I mentioned in my presentation, yes, we are very much aware that the nursing training is just a one semester. I've had an informal conversation with some of our nursing students. Then I'm like, hey, you said you are doing sign language for one semester, and all they can do is to just spell A, B, C, D, and all that. But communicating with their patients becomes difficult. So I remember in one of our meetings, we advocated for that not only even nurses, for every health training institution, I think that they should be able to make it a priority. The thing is that if we are not intentional about initiatives for persons with disabilities, sometimes we miss it.
Great. So the question is, what are you doing about it? What are you going to do about it?
So like I said, all these things, because they are not directly under the council, we collaborate with the specific institutions to make, to have some form of advocacy for them that, hey, one semester is not enough. Can we make it an intentional priority that right from the basics? In fact, not even nursing training alone, even our basic education, in our basic schools, how do we incorporate sign language? So that is a kind of a policy advocacy and engagement we are having with the sectors responsible for that.
Great. The last question has to do with what have you been doing since 2009?
I think before that, Madam Teliso I would like to say Madam Telisa. Madam Telisa asked about education.
Yes.
Whereas issues of education are directly under Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education, government agencies will collaborate in terms of work. Yes, what is Ghana or government doing in terms of education? Okay, so recently, no fee stress policy was launched for our persons with disabilities. That is not going to even answer your question, because you are looking at how our students with disabilities are being dumped into some of the education.
Sorry, for the sake of time, let's go straight to the point. Yeah. She knows you are NCPD. Mm-hmm. She has issue with education. She says, NCPD, what contribution are you putting in for issues of education?
The issues that you received or you've seen, it has come into the council's attention. Education, Ministry of Education and Ghana Education is one of our key stakeholders. We are constantly having an engagement, especially the special education unit. We are constantly having engagement with them to address some of these issues. So it is more of consistent engagement with them to address some of these issues. That is what
she gave us a scenario of a challenge she's encountered with schools with Takrady and all that. Do you want to pick that up and say you would engage Ghana Education Service to see what
I would talk to her, then we will look at how we can engage on that particular matter, because they are our stakeholders and we must deal with it. Yeah.
Great, thank you. The last one has to do with mindset change. How are we really coming up with programs that can help to change mindset of society about persons with disabilities?
Thank you very much. You know, this is one of the programs. This is one of the programs for mindset change. So you see how the executive director, when he was introducing the team, now that was the lead for the ability, Madam Abna, was not on stage. Now, when he remembered that she was not on stage, he didn't call someone to go and bring her up. He went down, hold her hand, brought her back to the stage. That alone, there's the renewal of the mind on how persons with disabilities are being handled. And Madam also rightly said, it's about continuous education and sensitization. You, the gentleman that asked the question, when you stepped out of this room and you see someone being abused simply because the person is a person with disability, you would have to stand up for the person. That is how we are able to change mindsets of people. And do not see them as you are giving them, you are supporting them out of pity. There's no pity here. It is social, it is their right. So in terms of cultural and mindset shift, it is about continuous sensitization, letting people understand that before their disability, they are persons, like Farid said. So constantly sensitizing ourselves, our colleagues, and in programs like this, and all the CSOs and all the disability organizations, their programs, there's an opportunity to sensitize people. So it's about constant sensitization, and we believe that with time, as Ghana grows in terms of disability inclusion, there will be that mindset shift so that we know that before their disability, they are persons too like us. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've left out one question. You were established in 2009. Why are we now hearing of you? What have you been doing since 2009? That's your question, right?
The council has been working all this while, and we are still working. The council is a state agency. Just like any other government agency, we are there to make sure that we evolve policy to mainstream persons with disabilities in all sectors of national development. We are not a CSO. We are not an advocacy group. We are a state agency. Some of the work we do, you may not see it visibly in terms of, permit me to use a word, we will not be loud on the radio or on the TV, trying to advocate for something. But you realize that we do what we call policy influencing. When you see that there are some form of changes in government interventions, or there is an introduction of government intervention, you should know that an agency
is working at the background to ensure that all these things are coming out. We may not be a CSO and OPD that would have to take the microphone or come onto the national television and to be propagating all that we are doing. We influence policy. We influence policy. Whereas I admit that there's more room for improvement like we are doing now. The council has been working and it has influenced policy, for which reason we are even reviewing the Persons with Disabilities Act to conform to the UNCRPD, because we realize that most of the things we do now, because of emerging issues and trying to conform to national and international obligations, there is the need to even review the act. So the council, under the leadership of all the board chairmen and even the current one, we've been working, and the council is committed to working to ensure.
Thank you very much, Ishmael. Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Madam Esther. It was about your location. She would want to know your location, and then they will follow up. Where are you located?
Cosmos Innovation Center is located at Jolu. And you can also find us on all social media handles at KIC Ghana or Cosmos Innovation Center. Right after the program as well, I'll just be out there. You can also get in touch. I'll give you our contacts. You can also send us an email, info@kicghana.org. You'll also be able to have access to us. Please, our doors are open and our building is accessible. So make sure you pass through, and then if you have, you are in contact with any group or persons with disability, we have a lot of programs that is also friendly to them. They can participate. We have opportunities for them. Please pass through. Let's have a conversation.
Thank you very much.
Lastly,
Thank you.
I would like to encourage the organizers as well that most of these conversations we've had over here, there is also that percentage of persons with disability who do not understand the English like you and I. If it's possible to translate these salient information so that you collaborate with media houses and then extend it to them so they know that organizations like Cosmos Innovation Center, we are thinking about them and we are having conversations concerning them. Thank you.
Great feedback. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. So, Mr. Ishmael Genya, lead IT for NCPD and head of digital projects, thank you very much for your time. Madam Esther, communication and PRO of Cosmos Innovation Center, thank you. Madam Grace Na, Adwa Nelson, was so grateful. Your final comment. We are really behind time and we don't want to eat into the time of the third panel discussion. So please, let my sister contribute with her comment. Thank you. Ideally, I should give you the time to say your final words, but we are behind time. Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to answer Auntie Grace when she asked whether the content I did was for jokes, but my name is now Advocate Bernes. So I took it upon myself to advocate on my condition and educate people on my channel. So that's what I do over there. Thank you.
Can you tell people about your mushroom business too?
Yes, I'm also a mushroom farmer. I am into mushrooms. So when you want mushroom, dry and fresh mushroom, you can contact me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Stanley Amamu, and your distinguished panel of guests who have come to throw a lot of light on very, very, very significant components to drive home the reason why we've been here from morning until now. And at this juncture, we want to do something very, very significant as well, that having done all the talk to this point, we also want to put a symbolism on the fact that we'll be committed to all the targets that have been touched on, the needs that have been raised, the responses that have come from stakeholders, and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage the Executive Director of Empowerability Organization, Mr. Joseph Hammond Ni Ayikwe. Yes, it's a good place to put our hands together for him. Mr. Joseph Hammond, Ni Ayikwe. Right, coming up to the stage. And I'm sure you are coming with your team as well. And in addition, we want to also have Dr. Millicent Ajay to also do us the honors to help sign a portion of the declaration. Please put your hands together for Doctor. Put your hands together, please. Let's celebrate her as she's coming to help us. The team of Employability Organization will need you upstage. Please come. Please come. Please come. This is a very momentous time in our journey so far. Please keep clapping. Please keep clapping. The declaration has a clear, yes, take your time. Take your time. We have all day for you. Take your time and come up stage. The declaration has this, and I will want to read. Employability Organization. We are here to enable ability. So enabled ability is the tagline. The Accra Declaration on an Inclusive Future. It reads, a commitment to the economic empowerment of youth with disabilities. Aren't you happy that? Yeah, I'll take it again. A commitment to the economic empowerment of youth with disability. The preamble is acknowledging that the youth of Ghana, regardless of physical or sensory ability, are the primary drivers of our national development, and recognizing the historic 2026 mandate for free tertiary education for persons with disability as a catalyst for transformation. It's pretty long, but it's important. I bring it to your audience. It will be available for come by later, take pictures and all of that. But it has pillars. Pillar number 1 is there. Pillar number 2, for the sake of time. Pillar number 2 is there. Pillar number 3 is there. And the covenant. This is the most interesting part. The covenant of Employability Organization is, by signing this declaration, we move beyond rhetoric to measurable action. We agree to be held accountable. We agree to be held accountable. Repetition is for emphasis. So we agree to be held accountable by the youth of Ghana and to support Employability Organization in its mission to monitor, evaluate, and report on the progress of these commitments annually. This will be signed this day, 24th day of March, at the British Council, and we'll have the stakeholders to help us to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are happy about the pillars that have been established, the covenant that has been made, then I want you to give a louder hand of applause, a louder hand of applause. And thank you so much for making history today while we push to have inclusivity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Executive Director, you have a word to say before you put your signature?
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. I think the words are here. All right, so we'll make this available to all stakeholders. And let me have the marker. This is a passion-driven initiative. This is a passion-driven initiative. So we are committed. We are ready to push to the top. Ishmael, are you with me? Yes, sir. I know, right? Okay, so we have 4 signatories. We have for the government of Ghana. We'll go to the office. They'll sign. Yes, because we're there. We engaged the Deputy Minister for Food and Agric. Right. He said, I love this project. Yes, so, and then we have for the private sector. And then for the PWD community. And then for Employability Organization. Right, so the private sector, this is a surprise to Doc. Yes, so Doc, this is just a commitment. You are all in this together. So we'll work together to make this happen. Yeah, so the private sector, Doc will do us the honors. I will do mine. For the government, Ishmael, your people, they are here, but Mr. Andor is not here, so I'll come to the office. Or you want to do that? Okay. Then for the PWD community, that is GFD. We're there, anyway. So we'll go to the office, they will sign. All right. Okay, so where is the marker? Okay. So we pledged to bridge the digital divide by ensuring that 100% of national digital infrastructure and government to citizen platforms are compliant with international web accessibility standards. We are tech people. We do web, we do mobiles and all that. Go to our website. It's accessible. It has all that. We are trying to collaborate with an organization in the UK, AbilityNet. And anyway, let me sign. Yes. Raise it for me. I'll sign a covenant. This is blue or black? Blue. Okay, so this is mine. Oh, photographer, where are you? Can you see me? Zoom. This goes to. Okay, so. Awesome. Okay. So the private sector. Another. You want to do a different? Oh, you can use the same marker. Okay. The black will do. Hey, your favorite color. The cameras? Okay. Oh, awesome. This is for, dog, this is for 100 million. Oh. This signature. Okay, so Government of Ghana, that is the National Council on Persons with Disability. I know Mr. Andor would embrace this with, wholeheartedly, and yeah. So the PWD community would also do that. Two, that's fine. You good? That's it?
We're good. Thank you so much, Executive Director and team, and Dr. Millicent. Thank you all so much. We want to take photos now. After the photos, I will ask Abena to remain upstage and give us the vote of thanks. And then Dr. Esau, kindly you also remain around so you can also give us a closing prayer after the vote of thanks. Thank you. Okay, so I think at this point we want to have our executives from the National Council of Persons with Disability. Please join us upstage for your photograph with the team. After that, we'll have our partners from Telecel who had been here and very supportive from morning until now. STEM Aid will follow. Letty Arts, I can see Letty Arts executives around, but I'm sure they're outside, so they should all come. Please, let's be coming. Green Gold, Letty Art, let's be coming. First, we'll receive our executives from the National Council of Persons with Disability. Green Gold, please come around. I can see you. Letty Arts, please come around. STEM Aid, please come around. This is so beautiful. Now, we cannot appreciate the team in any less proportion than to say, Ayiko, thank you so much for bringing all our attention on the need for inclusivity so we enable abilities. This is a very historic, and signing this and putting it to the world also gives you a mandate to protect. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Letty Arts, please remain so you can have one. Green Gold, I haven't seen Green Gold yet. Green Gold, just give a little minute. Green Gold, please give a little minute. Letty Arts, you here alone. Please get closer, photographer. Please direct them to, and after this one, Green Gold to join. Green Gold. Oh, let's have all partners coming to join you together. Let Green Gold also be part at once. Green Gold, please come. Please come. A very good friend of the founder is around. Madame Fidelia, Lex Tameklo, you are around. We need you to also come up stage and take a picture with the team. Together with Mami Aso. Mami Aso is also around, so Mami Aso, please also come up. You good? Closer. Maybe closer a bit, I think. Is that okay? All right. Thank you all so much for your support, your collaboration. Thank you so much. Sicho, Madam Fidela Tameklo, and Aso. Yes. After this, we'll have all persons here with disability. Those we are enabling actually for the day and with our mandate. Please, you all come upstate and join. Empowerability.org. All right. So please assist all persons with disability in here with us. Please come upstage and take a picture with the team. After that, then we'll have freestyles. At your own request, you come and have freestyle for 10 minutes. And after that, we'll take the vote of thanks. Let's applaud all persons with disability, differently abled, strong men and women amongst us to join us upstage to also have this moment captured. Let's keep clapping, let's keep clapping, let's keep encouraging them while they come up stage. Right. Please arrange yourselves well so everybody's face is seen in the picture. It's very important. Very important. After this, we'll have all well-wishers, friends who'll be here with us. Okay, so you come with them. Okay, all right. After this, we'll have the team from Telecel. Yeah, enabled ability. Yes, enabled ability. All right. Kindly, let's have the team from Telecel. I think we didn't do an exclusive one with the team from Ashesi University, so we want to do that one too. So Doctor had been on stage a number of times, but yeah, she's here for us the whole day, isn't it? Yeah, she's here for us. Please let's put our hands together one more time for Doctor. She's been so supportive from start. The team from Telecel, yes. Then we will do with Ashesi University. Then the panel, the speakers who had been on the panel, we will want you to also come so we have one. Doc, I think you need to be a bit closer. Be closer. Yeah, that's it. Say empowerability. That's right. We want to see the one more time. Let's go. Empowerability. Right. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. We want to have the team from Ashesi University. Then the panel that had ably aided us in our discussions today. The first panel, the second panel that discussed tech and health. We want you to come back for an exclusive. Then finally, we'll do all loved ones. Everybody who's been here indeed has been a loved one and a well-wisher. And Mr. Joey, please, you are dear to the heart of the founder, so please also come closer. You will do an exclusive with the team. Has STEM Aid been here? Yeah, STEM Aid, you been here? STEM Aid, have you been here? You have been here, okay, awesome. All right, thank you all very much, team from Ashesi. We dearly appreciate your coming, your inputs, your insight, and the guide you've offered Empowerability today. All right, now we'll have all the panelists that have spoken here, you from the tech section to the agric and health sections. We want to have you real quick. Our time is almost finished, so let's double up on this last portions. Open up a little. Yeah. Okay. Ishmael is here. Great. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. All right. Okay. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. I think now we'll have all loved ones, friends who have been here from morning. Please come around. Come around. Okay, all right, okay. And there are still some finger foods around for us to take home, just a sign of solidarity and appreciation for your long journey with us to this point. So please, before you file out, after the vote of thanks, please remember, after the vote of thanks and prayer of thanksgiving, okay, closing prayer, please, you're directed to where you can have a little appreciation from us before you go. Okay, thank you. I think we are done now, so freestyle. The team, the protocol team that had been so helpful in giving us all the necessary support today, please come around. I think too many of you are on that side, right? Oh, is it okay? Yes, some should come this way. Oh, we good? Yeah. That's it. Are you ready to enable disability? Say yes. Yes. Enable ability. Sorry, we are enabling ability. I need to be part. Now is my turn. I want to drop off my. Have Abena to give us the vote of thanks. Okay.
Hello. Oh, I can't hear you. I want you to be full of enthusiasm. Hello. Yes, God indeed has been faithful, hasn't He? Yes, yes. On behalf of Empowerability Organization and all persons with disability, I would like to sincerely express our gratitude to all our speakers, our guests, and all the organizers. And also to say we appreciate you for your contributions and all that you've done for us today with lots of love. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make us great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PRO Abena. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Now, at this point, we started with prayer. So we'll also end with a prayer. And we call on Dr. Charles Hackman, who is the chairman of the governing board of Employability Organization, to give us the closing prayer. Please, let's give him a round of applause.
Mr. Botre has done so well. Let's give him a round of applause as well. Dan, God bless you. So respectfully, wherever we are seated, let us rise if you can. If you can, just bow and we take a prayer. We give you thanks, our Heavenly Father, for your mercies and grace, which are new every morning. We give you glory for what you have done and for bringing us this far. Empowerability Organization, it is you who bet this idea in the heart of our brother, and together with his team, you have brought them this far. Oh Lord, we thank you for all those who were invited to speak to us as guest speakers, and those who joined the panel to join in the fusion of ideas and the questions that have come through. We thank you for those who also made it to sit in through up to this end. We give you thanks for their lives. We pray that as we leave, your presence shall continuously be with us. We soak the declaration in your blood. We pray that, O Lord, you who has begun a good thing will bring it to an expected end. Even things that we have not thought of, people that we have not contacted, resources that hitherto we had no idea, make it available unto us in your name. We pray that your glory shall be with us even now and forevermore. And unto him that keeps your feet from falling, be with you even here and forevermore. Amen. Also, make friends, connect, and take whatever you have to take. And let's say we are all dismissed. God bless you.
My product.